This in the pool. Justin Ford, Cape Town.
Thank you very much, Morena Mutupi. He'll be back later with more news from the world of sports. You catch him every morning here on the South African Morning. Now, the Center for Development and Enterprise, CDE, is calling on President Cyril Ramaphosa to appoint a retired judge to lead an inquiry into the National Prosecuting Authority. In its latest report, appointing the next head of the NPA, the CDE outlines key reforms to strengthen the NPA. It also wants the president to use a panel of experts to find Shamila Batoye's successor. To unpack their recommendations and their concerns, we join now by Ann Bernstein, Executive Director for the Center for Development and Enterprise. Ann, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the South African Morning, and thank you very much for your time. Why are you as a CDE now calling for an urgent inquiry which must be led by a retired judge into the NPA?
Good morning. Well, the first reason is that we have failed to successfully prosecute anybody senior involved in state capture or major corruption. This is a devastating indictment of where the country is in its supposed fight against corruption. So the NPA is failing in one of its absolutely key responsibilities and functions for the country. And we see the appointment of a successor to Shamila Batoye as a real opportunity to fix the NPA and to revitalize its functions in this area. We're making two calls. The one is for the appointment process, which must begin speedily if we're to get a replacement by January 2026. It should include recommendations from the president about a candidate or potential candidates, and then the appointment of a high-level panel, a group of people who will inspire confidence in our society and who also appreciate the scope of this job, its importance to manage an absolutely vital institution. So a high-level panel that will interview and deliberate on the qualities required for a successful new NPA head. So that's our first recommendation. The second is that we're very influenced by the Nugent Commission into SARS in 2019, and there you had an inquiry by a retired judge into a captured state institution that in effect made very practical recommendations for what the president should do, but also how a new head of an institution in trouble could take action to improve its performance. So we're calling for the president to appoint an urgent review as well.
But I mean, what about the point that Shamila Batoye has made, that operationally and financially her hands are tied? The institution will also need a bit of independence to assist it. And she also says there are some high-profile cases where there's been top leaders who've been taken in, and they are facing a trial currently.
Look, we would support any attempts to make the NPA more independent, so we back her on that. The point we're making is they might have some cases in the works, and they have taken one or two people to court, but they have failed to successfully prosecute anybody. So that's the point. You need to actually get the prosecution done effectively, and that's what is not happening. And she has admitted a few weeks ago, she said that they have been struggling with state capture cases and failed to make progress here that she would like.
So you're making these recommendations. Have you sent them to the presidency, or have you just made them in the public like we are talking to you currently on eNCA?
No, we are certainly sending it to the appropriate authorities, and we hope that we will be listened to.
Yes, I mean, because she's only got 8 months to go to end her term of office before the president appoints the next person. And you want that independent panel to really be one that will interview whoever are the potential candidates. For you, and as the CDE, what would be the main attributes of such a candidate?
Well, first and foremost, they need to believe in the independence of the NPA and the importance of the task that they're doing, and they need to have management experience. So not just a lawyer with qualifications to appear in any court in the land, that's self-evident, but they need to be somebody who has experience in managing large institutions and turning around institutions where parts of it might have been captured, and you need to have experience in doing that. And that's why we're suggesting that this high-level panel have a business leader or somebody with serious management experience, both in the public sector successfully and in the private sector. So we're making that a key component, as well as all the legal attributes that are required. But a commitment to the Constitution and independence is absolutely vital as well.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. Ann Bernstein, Executive Director of the Center for Development and Enterprise. Masiko, that's how we wrap up the second hour of the Wednesday edition of the South African Morning.
See, we never want to leave you. He thinks it's the first hour because we've
just started, you know.
Yeah. We'll see you again at 8 o'clock. Here's a look at your weather in the meantime.